Hello, everyone. It's Jason Harrell, Chief External Affairs Officer here at FICPA, and welcome to a special edition of Capital Brief, which is everything you need to know in 3 minutes or less. So we're joined today by our President and CEO, Shelley Weir, and we have a very special good news announcement for everyone today that we'd like to share. And Shelley, I'd like to turn it over to you to make the announcement.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason, and hope everyone is doing well. We are extremely excited to share that we have filed our FICPA priority legislation for the 2026 legislative session. Yesterday, House Bill 333, that'll be an easy number to remember, right, Jason, by Representative Omar Blanco, and Senate Bill 364 by our dear friend, Senator Joe Gruters, was officially filed in the House and the Senate. You will probably recall that last session, we filed this similar transformative legislation to modernize CPA licensure for the future here in Florida. That bill passed the Senate this past session unanimously, but did not quite make it over the finish line in both chambers. We know that this is very important for the profession. We have continued to work and build support around these priorities since the close of last session and the soon-to-be start of the new legislative session. And now we are very excited to bring our proposal back for 2026. This is very much something that the FICPA supports. And as Jason and I have shared with you many times in the past, this piece of legislation is also something that we worked in collaboration with 30 other states across the country who have filed similar pieces of legislation, especially our peers here in the Southeast region, as well as our fellow large populous states peers. And in the time since we first filed our legislation last year and where we are today, similar bills have passed most of those 30 states. So now we're ready to get ours going again.
We are absolutely ready, Shelley. So let's just talk about what's in the bill this year. And I think, Shelley, when you look at the bill, the very first thing that pops up is efficiency. That's the first thing you see, is that we have really looked through the statutes to find any efficiencies, any ability to streamline a process to make it easier for folks to get licensed and get to work in the state of Florida. We've done that. And you see that first with our reforms to our licensure by endorsement process. We've taken kind of a multi-step process that was working, but it could have been a little bit cleaner. And we've made that a simple one-step process. We've also introduced an efficiency into our mobility structure for practice privileges, where we took kind of a process that was, a little bit cumbersome at times to review for the board, and made that streamline a simple one-step review to really, really emphasize our practice privileges and mobility. So those are super exciting. And then I think, of course, Shelley, the highlight, of course, as well, is introducing new pathways to licensure here in the state of Florida without lowering standards, which I know is something that's extremely important as well, which is offering a new pathway with a bachelor's degree plus 2 years of work experience. So we're extremely excited to bring this forward. And I think we're really proud of the fact that we took a look proactively at our statutes, Shelley. We went through them and said, what can we do to help make things streamlined for folks, to help support a strong economy in Florida, to help support a strong workforce in Florida? The CPA profession is here to help. And this bill, I think, modernizes our process, modernizes the licensure process, and helps us line up with that goal.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think this is really the single most impactful piece of legislation that the FICPA has filed in several decades. And I love what you just said there, Jason. I think it's important for our members to know and understand that over the past 18 months, we have worked collaboratively with our Board of Accountancy. We proactively together reviewed our CPA statutes. We want to work with legislators and lawmakers to support Florida's workforce and have a strong economy in Florida. And obviously, we want more people to move and work into our beautiful state here. And that's exactly what this bill aims to achieve, while maintaining the important standards that are so near and dear to our profession, the license, and the CPA brand.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of our organization, of our members, for really stepping up here and saying, let's look at what we can do better. Is there ways we can improve things to help align to the goal of making sure Florida is the number one place to move and do business? And we want to be there as a CPA profession to support that. Well, of course, always protecting and maintaining a strong CPA license here in the state of Florida. And I think, Shelley, just kind of emphasizing it's obvious in this bill, we support a strong, efficient board of accountancy. We support protecting those mobility provisions that we have in structure in our profession that is really maintained through those uniformity of standards that we've been worked so hard as a profession to put in place. And you see, we're doing that while also not being the agents of no, not just standing aside and saying status quo. We're willing to look and modernize, but at the same time, maintaining those core components of the profession that allow us to conduct commerce, frankly, across state lines and have business booming.
I couldn't agree more. And I think, my last words for our members, this is the start of what will be a long process, right? We have a couple of months until session officially starts in January. Though, as you guys have been hearing from Jason these last several weeks, we are in what's called pre-session committee weeks right now. And so we might see some movement before session officially starts. But, I really want to thank our bill sponsors. Representative Omar Blanco from Miami has been just a great advocate and cheerleader for the CPA profession ever since he took office within the last year. And of course, our dear friend, our staunchest ally, our staunchest advocate, our Senator Joe Gruters, our CPA in the Senate. And this is Joe's last year in the Senate before he is termed out. And what a beautiful way to honor his legacy and the work that he has done to protect and promote the CPA profession than to hopefully get this bill across the finish line in 2026 on his last year in the Florida Senate.
Absolutely, Shelley. Always very excited when you get your bills into the process. That is the first step to have them officially filed. We can now get started on the hard work ahead, and we're looking forward to it. This is what we do. So we're looking forward to bringing this forward in the legislative process. So that'll wrap it up for now. Really proud of where we're at. We'll keep you all informed with our Capitol briefs, and tune in next time for everything you need to know in 3-ish minutes or less. Thanks.
Stay tuned.